Southern Division for the first half of the season. That's the important thing. We play them by halves down here.
Right, yes.
I think they've learned a lot under their manager, Bob Didier, who was under suspension and away from the ballpark tonight. So, you know, he's our kind of guy. Kevin McCabe asked me tonight, he says, okay, Tom, so you're Bob Didier. You're suspended. You've got players who aren't reporting and players you don't know anything about and so on. He said, what would you be doing tonight under suspension? I said, I'd be up at the Plaza Campbell 3 watching the Untouchables.
Or out at Raven Raceway watching the races.
Who did your midget number tonight?
Let's see. Who did our midget number tonight? You asked me that now, huh? Oh, let's see.
Right in the fray of it all, huh?
He raced second last night. He raced second.
Well, whoever, it must have been exciting. I shouldn't do that. I'll tell you, it does get so bizarre. Sometimes you have to wait until about an hour after the evening is over and go back through your notes.
Well, it was that Pennsylvania car, that car number 2.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Manus's old Raven. How ironic
yes,
that is.
He won it, and he won it too. I don't mean he just was out in front from the beginning. He worked for it.
Raven comes back to Raven. What an omen here on somebody's 8th wedding anniversary.
Well,
and boy,
Billy
am I in
let
the
it. Oh, here we go.
House. We've got green, and let's go racing on a Saturday night, Hank Arnold Memorial at Raven Raceway. Oh, what a neat looking crowd. This is such a scene out here tonight. The lights producing a halo over this area, and it was just incredible. Almost tear-producing to drive into it tonight after one's begun. Speaking of things that begin well, how about Scott Kazar? You saw him do some pretty serious running down here last night. And looks like he's back to do the same tonight. Camp waves the yellow. I shouldn't just call him Camp, should I? George Camp waving the yellow because of a squirrel.
Couple of them over there between turn number 3 and 4.
That's one of our favorite corners anymore, although 2, I think, still leads in the demographics out here.
Yes, it does.
That was a wild and woolly flip last night, and I trust our guy is walking around today and shaking it off.
No, he's not.
Well, he'll be there shortly.
In about 6 weeks.
He
broke his leg also that we didn't find out. And
well, I can believe it.
He was in surgery till 9 o'clock last night. Mr. Burns, you're talking about.
Dave Burns.
Yes, and
what a ride that was up in turn 2.
He's in good spirits, though. Dave and Linda went out to see him today, and they done surgery and got him put back together, plastic surgeons and so forth. And
that's nice.
He had a compound fracture on the leg, so he's going to be laid up a little bit, but he's in good spirits, though.
And that's nice about Dave and Linda, and that's not just blowing smoke. Some of these are such big businesses across our country these days that, well, no way would a track operator and his wife go put in that visit. As I hate to say it, trivial as that sounds, but that's the way it is for the most part across these United States, and that's part of why Dave and Linda are such special people. And that's reflected by the fact that so many of you are in the stands tonight, and we sincerely thank you from the bottom of our heart.
We sure do. Scott Kazar, our leader, huh?
Been a tough and at the same time a neat 11 or 12 weeks. I don't know. I can't even keep track of the weeks, let alone who won what, when.
It's been a couple of years, hasn't it?
It just seems that way at times, but it's also been a couple of years worth of fun, and that's what keeps it going.
Oh, yes.
I'll tell you, that Kazar was doing some flat-out tough running last night. It's nice to see him up there in a competitive situation, such as the leader of the pack in the early on. Also nice to see that one of my favorite Tucsonans, Tommy Signs. God, what a bubbly, effervescent, gregarious kind of guy
he is. A nice guy.
Doesn't matter where you run into him, what he's doing, what you're doing, what time of day it is, it just doesn't matter. Tommy Signs is Tommy Signs, and he would literally give you the shirt off his back.
I think he would. Well, George looks at him one more time. What do you think?
He's impressed. I'm impressed. And I hope you are, too. Scott Kazar takes it away once again and says, okay, boys, play catch-up back there and Come Get Me. Boy, what a nice looking sight that is. And when you've got them that closely bunched together and the wings adding to it, I'll tell you, it just gives it such a great perspective, especially watching them into, through one, out of 1 and 2, and just look at that as you follow the leader in and then just kind of slow down.
Oh, look out there. By the number 2 corner. Who is that? Somebody spun out over there.
One of them who got into it got out of it immediately. The other one, I don't think is going to have any serious problem. All he's hoping for right now is a good restart, either on his own or with a boost. Chuck Bowman, your man down up there between 1 and 2 in the 73 machine, one of our Phoenix contention. And if he drives down here enough and you're a Tucson business individual and you've been thinking about advertising and you've looked at our medium, radio and TV, and said, oh my God, that's too ghastly, and maybe you have thought about putting your name on the side of one of these machines, that one is available. And you see how often he's in the spotlight.
Yes, I do.
I say that affection. I would not want the job of one of these professional drivers under any circumstances. A celeb race every now and then, or whatever you want to call it, fine.
Well, Tom, you want to get into dwarf racing, so here's an opportunity for you or some of the race fans out there. Car number 7, Dwarf, is for sale, a 32 Ford sedan with a Suzuki-powered motor, and it's race ready. And just see the winner of 30. He's the winner of 30 out of 33 races, Dennis Fetter. So contact Dennis Fetter at 886-0608, or come on up to the press box. We'll give you the phone number. Car number 7 in the Dwarfs for sale. Hey, I'll tell you, look at this, Tom. Winner of 30 races out of 33, a Dwarf for sale.
What's he want?
It doesn't have a price on it. I'm sure it's negotiable. But
where's he from?
Oh, Dennis Fetter, Tucson, 886-0608.
Fetter's got a Dwarf?
Yep, sure does. Well, here they come once again, and they're on the green as George Camp flashes out the green flag.
Well, with them packed up, the question is, will Scott Kazar be able to do his little pull-away antic of before? And the answer is pretty clear. First shot down the back chute, yes. Kazar has opened it up with just the first lap into the resumption here, with Billy Hicks trying to close in desperately in that 92 machine. They're running lean and clean, pretty much single file right now as the bulk of the pack takes it through turns 1 and 2. The leaders open it up now, but Kazar running all alone with that much of a margin right now over Billy Hicks. So it's fairly close up top. Tommy Signs in the 4T, that yellow machine going into turn 1 right now, just that far behind positions 1 and 2. But it looks like Kazar and Hicks got things running pretty well right now, pretty well running their way as Kazar continues to hold on to the lead here in your winged super modified main event. Look at that, Dave Hatton, who put in an awfully good show here last night, showing at least momentary situations of brilliance out there, has now moved it up to that 4th position. They'll be bunching up again as we go to yellow because of a single squirrel up between 1 and 2. 4 laps are now in the book on this one. A meager 20% of it etched into the book.
R33, that's spun out.
J.D. Vance.
Up, he got it started again. The car number 33 spinning out at number 2 corner, and he's going to go to the rear of the pack right now. J.D. Vance, losing her. Have quite a few spinouts tonight. Nothing, no major. We've had a rollover earlier in the evening, but nobody injured.
A walk away, great.
Yep.
Love those kind. Yeah, I think the halo I mentioned earlier was obviously produced by the lights reflecting back up off of the track and a certain amount of dust being stirred into the air, dust and smoke for that matter.
Yeah, the engine's running. You're not going to hear it.
Then when you pull up here and see that mass amount of automobiles in the parking lot, what a great, great feeling. So they're pretty much in single file at this point.
Scott Kazar, your current leader.
5 laps gone, 15 to go. Kazar the Rabbit.
George Camp tells him one more time around, gives him the number 1 finger and the yellow flag. And looks like the track is pretty well cleared up. If we can get him positioned right, we'll get back into racing at the main event here.
And some of that you hear in the way of voice communication in the background, quite frankly, our officials chatting back and forth amongst one another, making sure that car 73 goes 1 notch in front of car 33, et cetera, et cetera. And as you can see, we are not succeeding very well in getting that message distributed. And so one of the teddy bears goes down to the track now. He will approach Kazar in all probability and say, here, pass this message along.
Speaking of teddy bears, that's George Camp. Got the yellow flag, the black flag. He's going to tell somebody, watch this now, what he does. He'll take that black flag. He'll point to a car. He's not going to eject the car. He'll point to him. Nope.
Whoa.
He didn't do what I thought he was going to do.
Don't think he said go jump that car's bones.
No, I don't think so either.
Then again, who was that, Camp or McKinley down there? It's possible. Maybe he did say, go jump that car.
I don't know. George looks a little bit upset right now.
Because these idiots won't go back to the last green.
No, that's so. Don't turn that off.
I turned the mic off. That one over the air, dear.
I don't care.
I don't blame her.
Put that puppy where he belongs.
On occasion, we're all idiots. By the way, if that lady in the audience who told me I didn't know one part of my anatomy from a hole in the ground is here again tonight, come on up. Let's talk. Oh.
You already got a letter. I'll tell you about it.
Now, if you got to do what J.D. Vance is doing here, going to the back of the pack, there's very little better time to do it than with 5 laps gone and 15 remaining. And he's capable of charging.
Well, George got the green in hand once again. Thank you.
George always wants to go green, and green he's gone. And so is Kazar with a quick lead on Billy Hicks as they take it into and out of turn number 2. That's how they'll go down the back straight. Kazar, Hicks. Then an opening before. Along comes Dave Hatton in the 4P machine, followed by Tommy Signs in the 4T. It's getting so you need a scorecard. At any rate, Scott Kazar leads the pack out of turn 2 down the back straight now, still maintaining that several car lengths lead over Billy Hicks. And here they come. Out of turn 4, up the home straight and into turn 1. Kazar seems to be fairly well in command of this one, at least in the early on. Of course, there's always that chance of more yellow and more packing up. Also the chance of a little attrition along the way to open things up. Funny how nature works it all out, isn't it? But Kazar with a bigger lead now than before on Hicks in 2 and out of 1, Hibner up to 2. Signs got Waddle sitting right next to him now, battling it out for that number 4 position, just a little further back in the pack. Bill Parker Jr. also down there in the top 6 right now. But it's Kazar all alone at the top right now, with the exception of Billy Hicks trying to close things up. J.D. Vance tooling by in that 33 that went to the back of the pack before we got resumed here. See a little of the dust kicking up in the breeze now, Jack.
Sure is. The track has dried up quite a bit now.
Track's taking a beating tonight, I'll bet.
George Camp crosses the flag, says halfway. So we're halfway through this one.
And Scotty Gazar continues to give us a good show running at the top. Billy Hicks trying to close it up. Likewise, Dave Hatton, Mike Waddle, Tommy Sines, and Billy Parker.
92 is your leader.
Billy Hicks comes from behind to take the lead away as we are just a little beyond midway in a winged supermodified main event. Oh boy, that was tight driving right there.
Boy, it sure was.
Getting it out of and into and through traffic and doing it all safely. Just an incredible job, and being done right in front of the main grandstand area too. Couldn't have been better timing.
Well, Billy hasn't won it yet. There's a lot of traffic ahead of him. Anything can happen. There's a few more laps to go here.
Billy Hicks pounding that number 92 machine and in the lead now by about the same margin that he spent a lot of time trailing Scott Kazar, who is now in the trail up or second position. They're running bump and bump down there out of turn 3 and into turn 4, and Kazar comes out of it with the lead regained over Billy Hicks. This could get interesting. They went wheel to wheel and did some jarring around down there between 3 and 4. Have to keep a close eye and ear on this one, Jack, especially in situations like this where they come up on traffic and run that opportunity of getting real up close and personable out there. It's getting rough.
It's getting real rough, and they are in traffic right now as Kazar tries to make his way on the outside as he laps the field.
They bunch up into that turn 4 area, but they all come through it unscathed. Kazar diving for the lower region of that track and doing so right in front of Billy Hicks and able to pull it off. And then open up his lead just a little bit out of 2 and down the back straight.
Kazar goes wide, and Hicks keeps it on the inside, and looks like he got him down in the front straightaway.
That he does as the lead seesaws back and forth between those two pumpkin-colored machines.
Look at that. Kazar had it back again, and does have it back again.
Kazar and Hicks on the seesaw. Who will have it this time around? In 2 and trying to handle the traffic down there between 3 and 4. Hicks inches back into the lead, only to give it up moments after crossing the start-finish line. What a wild and woolly one this one has turned out to be. And doing a lot of it in traffic, which, needless to say, is the tough way to do it.
White flag.
White flag and 1 to go.
What a finish this is going to be.
Kazar in the lead and Hicks giving chase. Or is it the other way around? It's Kazar. Hicks giving chase. Will it stay that way as the checkered flag comes out from George Camp? There you have it. Kazar with that big of a victory over Billy Hicks, and one that seesawed back and forth several times. What an exciting dash for the cash in the late going of that one. Venetian Scott Kazar in the number 3 machine, winning it by mere seconds over Billy Hicks in 92. A whale of a race for the main feature for the Winged Super Modifieds. We invite you to stay with us. Dave Maness with the winners in Victory Lane coming right up. As soon as he wraps that up with the winners, we open the gates. You're invited to join he and the celebs and their machines on Victory Lane, and or head into the pit field.
Round of applause. He's deserved this weekend. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like the 2 Arnold girls, please come down for the first presentation. Up here. Lori. Linda. We're going to get the midget out here and we'll do the stairway. So please stick around here.
Call the office immediately.
It's real hard for you tonight.
Susan just came over and said, call the office immediately.
Oh, midgets. Scott Kazar, winner 2 nights in a row. Took off 2 beautiful trophies. He's back here again. We got the same trophy and the same guy here. This looks like a repeat. from Pennsylvania. And I know Lori and everybody appreciates it to see how the state competition come in. First of all, this is the trophy for the winner of the main event tonight. We want to present the wreath round. Pittsburgh Florida, we appreciate the flowers all year long as usual. Thank you very much. We've been a competitor that ran with Hank Arnold also for many years. So Bennett, just think of flowers, think of him when you need flowers. A special one. All right, is the overall champion for 2 nights. He had a 5th last night, 4th last night, won a main event tonight. He's from Goodyear belts and hoses. There's $400 bonus money for the Goodyear belts and hoses. We appreciate that from the warehouses here in town. And another trophy here for the overall championship for the first ever Hancock Memorial Raven Raceway Special. I'd like to thank the Arnold family for their much appreciation and for their helping us to produce the show. They've been very cooperative. I understand this is the first time, Lori, that the whole family's been together in all the memorial races in the last few years, correct? Come on, you got talk. And they're having a good time, so they just got a new house. I hear Roberta and Ronnie, so I bet they got their hands full. But anyways, to all of you here, if you'd like to attend the party tomorrow at the Quality Inn, okay, the Quality Inn Hotel at the airport from 12 to 5 tomorrow, there is a pool party. They have Budweiser's over there. We have a live band over there. The racers are staying over there. I believe there's about 15 rooms booked over there with all the racers and everybody. I'm right staying there, right? So, I know a lot of people are, so if you want to have a good time tomorrow, come on over there to the Quality Inn and bring your bathing suits or whatever. We're going to have a get-together from 12 to 5 with a live band. We thank you very much, all of you. How about one more round of applause for everybody, including yourself, for the first ever Hancock Memorial. Go ahead, Tom.
Scott, 2 nights in a row. Can I get a picture of you, the 2 winners together, and the flagman?
The tickets are now open. The in-ticket down by the Victor Circle area is available for all of you to go in. For those of you who'd like to walk down here directly, our winners give us up. We can get the thing and we'll open the gate here.
Thank you. Where's the Super 45? That comes through the USAC.
Well, Jack,
I could use it. Oh, yeah, I know. Beer. We done? Man wants a beer. Open the gate. Open the gate.
Watch your step. Thanks again for coming down.
Watch your step, everybody.
Again, this week to ask children that Dave's name as we seal most of this week's music fun that we're using here on KRAT Raven Raceway Radio. Well, Billy Joel is original enough with his greatest hits. We get you on the road. We're going to keep it in the safe one all the way home. And a good one is back for coming out.
Yeah, this is the Superman. Yeah. He was the overall winner for both nights. Okay. Mr. Trophy.